What's up, Patriot Nation? Tom Brady is still good. Vontaze Burfict is still a menace. And Big Ben is on the shelf. All that and more on this week's Patriots Wrap 360.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yeah.
Let it build. Let it build, baby.
It's coming at you.
There
Wait for
comes.
it.
There it is. Great segue. Great segue,
You
too.
figure, coming to a little rockin' pretty little cell by the North, friends of the program. Figured it was appropriate due to the fact the Patriots are in a 3-game stretch here in the AFC North. Oh, bring it! The dulcet tones of Mr. Ryan Sullivan and the North. Check him out at thenorthla.com.
Look at you.
Oh, yeah, we got a full-fledged West Roxbury table in the house tonight, boys. Tell them where you're from, how to reach you.
West Roxbury, Mike.
Oh,
Turns out that's true what you said. Everyone is from West
West
Roxbury.
Roxbury.
it's true.
You can find me on Twitter at Deehas, Deehaas.
Kevin F. Finn. Twitter? Yeah, that's my Twitter thing.
That's it.
At Kevin F. Finn.
Perfect.
It's no dot.
I gotta let that breathe a little bit more so they can put up your lower thirds.
It never feels right when I talk
No?
about my Twitter handle. For some reason,
We
I've
gotta
never felt.
try and find an organic way
It's like
to get that
he was
in.
signing autographs in the hallway. He felt weird about that.
I feel weird about that too. You get over it after a while.
You'll adjust. You'll adjust.
Oh, what's up, gang? Thanks for joining us on our latest edition of Patriots Wrap 360. What can you say? Tom Brady, there is no rust. I mean, what's he completing it at 75% so far this year? He's got 6 touchdowns, 750 yards passing. He's like the third person to do that. One was being himself in the first 2 games of the season, and one being Peyton Manning, who obviously that was a regular season stretch. Well, it's to start the season, first 2 games of the season. But yeah, I mean he's good, and he's got his weaponry out there. And Mr. Gronk got loose for a career high in receiving yards, 162. You gotta
No
love
big
it.
deal.
No big deal.
Yeah, just
All
off to the
all
races.
systems go.
Off to the races. He himself is saying that he's rusty, but he always says the good word, and he's out there just wheeling and dealing. Though feels good.
I mean, you got to kind of believe that, though, with the speed that the NFL goes at. As good as he's looked, I mean, the bottom line is this guy was like doing yoga poses in Milan like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, the more that you catch up with that speed, the 3 Mondays in a row you show up to work and get ready to go with the team, as opposed to downward facing dog with like the most beautiful woman in the world looking at you.
We didn't exactly play the 85 Bears and the 01 Ravens the last 2 weeks. either,
Absolutely
so,
not.
That's true.
But we did play the Bengals. Although listening to Bill midweek last week, you would think it was the steel curtain.
Right.
Right.
Does a great job
But
of
that's
that.
probably this week. But oh yeah, he does. It's so good. And I just when I listen to those, it's like, oh, begin the recruiting tape right now, because
Yeah,
when this guy's
exactly.
a free agent,
Yeah.
and he antsy for a ring,
Yeah.
hit play on that. Bill's greatest hits of having to play these guys, and this week it was all about Antonio and Le'Veon Bell,
Of course.
in his press conference today. But let's look back on last week's game, though. Big win, 35-17 over said Bengals. And, I was a little antsy, kind of a back and forth battle going up
yeah.
into like midway through that third quarter.
Absolutely, a hungry team. They came out and fought the Pats really hard for the first half.
Yeah.
It was nerve-wracking. Yeah, I mean, they didn't get off to the races this week, and it was the first drive was solid, but then the wheels kind of came off. The offense was stagnant, for a lot of the first half, until that last drive, really, when they went 2 minutes and just kind of punched it in.
Although,
It's amazing how that is.
interesting kind of side note, one of the excuses that the Patriots would never make, but then, is always out there, is that they did have a lot of headset issues, problems, communications,
Oh.
which could, and they ended up going to like hand signals for the offense. So, that could explain why things were maybe staggered as opposed, the
game
rhythm
was
and
in
stuff.
Foxborough, though, so, I mean.
Well, exactly, but I mean, they never say. Everyone always complains about their headsets and that stuff getting messed with in Foxborough. Well, it's kind of what happens with those things. I think in technology, we all know that have jobs around technology.
Wow, that's good. That's
Pretty
good to
true.
know.
He's done with them. He's
done with them.
It's
Done with
official word.
technology?
He's done with the tablets,
right.
which I think have you
One
ever
of those tablets got spiked a few weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe one got spiked at halftime this week, past week. But have you ever? I'm sure I know you've watched, but have you ever seen the when he does the top plays of the week with Zolak?
Oh, so good.
It's so great, but what's like? I mean, because they basically give him an old school remote, because the way I envision it, like he walks into the studio and Zolak has to be like ready.
Oh yeah.
Like the tape is like ready to roll, and Zolak is like standing there waiting, and like he comes in and gives Zolak like 11 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
And then like just doesn't even say anything to Zolak. When they stop taping, he just like walks off set and just goes away. So like, and it's amazing because they give him like this. He has it in his right hand. He's got this old school remote. And if you watch along, it's absolutely nauseating to watch how he runs the video. It's like, if you look at this play, and it's like, well, wait, like, stop. And it's like so against, like, and then like, he doesn't even let anything play at like regular speed. And like, clearly he's just this like old video head that's like watches video at a speed that like none of us could even imagine. You know what I mean? And he's like pointing out blocks. I'm like, what is he even talking about?
He loves to do the rewind fast.
Rewind, fast forward, rewind, fast forward, rewind,
back.
and I'm like, oh my god, I can't even think about what you're talking about right now. I'm getting sick. And then he must go through meetings like that. I mean, he's in year of just doing that in meetings over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
And they bring in a new thing. Oh, you can do it with your finger. And he's like, you know what? I want it in my hand, old school remote. I don't even care if it has a wire coming out of it. I need a fast forward and a rewind button and a play button. That's all I need. Maybe a pause.
Oh boy.
It is true though. It definitely gives you like a look into the those meeting rooms on Mondays.
Exactly.
Just
it's nice. It's quick though. He doesn't give much. He's like, those are my top plays. Later.
Yeah. And
there's no edits in the thing at all, and it lasts like 3.5 minutes.
yeah, I think this week it seemed like he was particularly rushing out because this week's like total running time was like 3:26.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually I think he tries to get up in the high fours.
Well, yeah.
Very generous.
Yeah. So it was just like, and then he doesn't do it when they lose. It
doesn't even happen.
A few weeks ago. Later today's though.
Sorry,
got no time for you this week.
Not gonna happen. That show doesn't happen this week.
It's hilarious.
Oh boy.
Hilarious.
Oh man. The turning point in the game was kind of the beast Dante Hightower's safety there. With like
time.
5 minutes or so left in the third.
Yeah, it was a big play.
Like right after they went up 14-10, it was like, ooh, and then what do we go 3 and out? And then they got the ball back and we got them down their end, played some field position.
I mean, he showed a great burst there at the last second to make that safety too. It was like, oh, this could happen. And I was like, it happened. Yeah, that happened. I think that was, it took everybody by surprise how quickly he closed on Dalton.
Yeah,
he did. He closed quick, little delayed blitz, and then just grown man strength.
Just took him out.
Had him by the shoulder of his jersey, and then it was just boom.
Yep.
What's up?
I know there's a wrestling move that's kind of like that, like the rock bottom or something. But I'm just not as versed.
I would have thought, you would think at first glance, you would think Dalton might have time to get rid of that ball, but it happened so fast. He's a grown man.
He is, certainly. And that grown man got AFC Defensive Player of the Week.
No big deal.
Well,
we're getting those kudos this year.
Yeah, we are. It seems to be popping up.
Lot of those,
like a couple special teamers and
a lot of NFL stickers.
Actually, a guy that I don't even think we gave him his proper props was Blunt Force Trauma, Mr. Garrett Blount, who got the AFC Player of the Month for September.
Right.
And Brady got AFC Offensive Player of the Week last week, right?
Yep.
No big deal.
Hey, it's about time this league is recognizing the New England Patriots.
Us against the world. Pats against the world.
Something other than cheating.
They said they couldn't do it.
Oh boy.
They said they couldn't do it.
But I mean, Dante, 13 total tackles, 1.5 sacks. that safety, like we said, that's his first career AFC Player of the Week.
Really?
honor, which is kind of surprising to me. And maybe he just felt he had to step up his game with his, defensive backfield mate, Mr. Jamie Collins, out of the game entirely with the hip issue. He was limited at practice today, so it was good to see him on the practice field.
Absolutely.
But, in lieu of those guys, we have another beast on the rise.
Don't get us started.
Oh, boy.
My new favorite Patriot.
He is so good.
I haven't ordered the jersey yet, but Landon Roberts.
Oh, yeah. Woo! 5'2".
Kid is laying the wood.
Go
Yeah.
eat. Go eat.
Yeah, I mean, few guys can rock that jersey number and do it proud, you know? He looks good out there. He looks good out there.
This is true. He had that. He was part on. He had a nice stick on that goal line stand in the first half.
Oh man.
Oh, fired right in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it took the boys to come and clean it up a little bit, but definitely got him
Fill
off his
the lane. Yeah.
Big time.
Big time.
He was huge. And then he had a play where he tipped the ball on third down, but I think we a penalty. I think Logan Ryan got illegal hands to the face.
Sounds about right.
But another great showing from that kid. That's back-to-back weeks.
He's flashing, definitely.
Oh yeah, and you saw it a little bit in the preseason.
Right.
You know, he was kind of around the ball all the time. And I heard something. I think it was on last week's.
Get there.
His phone call with the reporters and stuff that he does
Yeah.
on Tuesday, Belichick. But he was saying that he was looking at Keenan Reynolds,
Right,
from
I
Navy,
heard that, yeah.
the quarterback, and
Right.
and this kid from Houston just leapt off the page all the time, 52. And the word is he's not going to be that good a special teamer.
Right.
So to hear that and to have this guy still on the roster, it was kind of bewildering those first few weeks, 4 weeks. But now that we've seen him out there in a linebacker position,
Yeah.
doing what he does, it's oh boy,
It's exciting.
it is.
It is exciting. Speaking of special teamers, just while it's on my mind,
I love that.
Brandon King. That dude is
A beast.
got to be the number 2 special teams player on the squad.
You would have to
Always
say.
showing up.
You would have to say this.
big hits.
This
Number
is
2?
behind Slater.
Ebner?
Ebner's up there too.
Ebner's up there. Ebner's
But-
up there. Brandon King, I feel Ebner's definitely in the running. You're right. He's. I don't know. We could look at the stats. We could
There's
listen-
5 or 6 guys that could lay
Yeah.
a claim to a Pro Bowl spot on this team. Slater said it. I don't know if it was post game or a press conference this week. This is the fastest special teams unit I've been a part of.
I mean,
Boom.
they got some. They got
It's
some
been there 8
gunners. On that.
seasons.
They got some gunners out there this year.
Yeah, that's a good squad.
Yeah, actually, I think it was last week, but Belichick with Zoe, he was breaking down some special teams coverage, and it was.
Oh my God! Please, what just happened?
Yeah,
But yeah, you got some studs out there.
Mingo's taken to his
Mingos
his
is
role on that special teams.
Yeah,
he's an exciting player.
yeah, he is.
He looks like a patriot.
Looks a little like Willie Mack when he's so big in that uniform, so tall, and shredded. It's good. The former number 6 overall pick or whatever he was could come in with a big head, you know,
yeah.
and he's just whatever. If special teams is where I'm, needed. Special teams is where I'm gonna be a wrecking ball.
We've been
playing some
loving,
defense though too.
Yeah, he's
getting
little
out
deep.
there.
But if they keep playing in this 2 linebacker alignment that they've been starting in the past few weeks,
Right.
it's a landing in the high,
Yeah.
So
We've been enjoying picking up the former top 10 picks off the other guys.
yeah.
Scrap heaps, We'll give this guy a run.
Yeah. All right. A little something potentially to be alarmed about. I want to see if you boys are talking me off the ledge.
I'm not going to if it's what I think it is.
Goskowski.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking.
Oof.
He's
He's
got
kind of like a pitcher right now. You feel like
Yeah.
you're
The
watching
yips.
a pitcher
Yeah.
going through something weird.
100%.
I mean,
A relief pitcher just going through some weird stuff
Yeah.
right now.
missing an extra point. It's like he hasn't been the same since
He's got
missing that field
he's got
goal.
the yips, definitely.
And the announcers would just announce it, jinxing him too. It's just like you feel the whole thing coming.
Oh yeah.
He's like, he's been struggling. Oh, you're like, oh, jeez. My God, did he hear you? What happened?
They relish that, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's like even
Yes.
if a guy's going good, they're like,
This guy's
guy-
automatic.
yeah.
There's
Well,
no
but
chance.
also, you know what happens? I think a lot of times with those guys is like they don't do a lot of prep. With the, a lot of times they show up 2-3 hours before the game, and those guys are hitting field goals, or they're not. Sometimes,
right.
And I think one of the things he's been struggling with is he's just not hitting a field goal. Period.
It's kind of
Which-
like this show. If hours were minutes, you know.
It's true.
If hours were minutes. Remember Matt Young
Zing.
when he just completely lost it and couldn't throw it anywhere? When they'd sign him, the Red Sox guy. Like I feel like it's
Yeah.
kind of like one of those things
The
where
yips,
it's just
yeah.
like it clicks out, but then it could just click back in and just be like, oh yeah, whatever.
Dude, Lester has it right now, and like they won't run on him.
Well,
you know?
he's had that for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
does he
just
go
the
into
National
first?
League exposes it more than the American League ever did. But he's
Yeah.
kind of always had that. I mean, you bunt to him and good luck. Like, watch out in the first row.
Yeah. Oof. How about you guys hear Mr. Kraft inducted into the
Hall of Fame.
Broadcast and Cable Hall of Fame?
Oh, really?
Wow.
Money gets you very
How
far.
does that? How?
I didn't. I
How does
didn't
that all
really
work?
know of the Broadcast and Cable Hall of Fame. Did you
Yeah.
guys?
No, I didn't have a vote. Put it that way.
It's amazing. Our Chads must have got lost in the mail.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. But I didn't even know that thing existed. Apparently, it's been around for 26 years.
Oh really? Well,
insane.
congratulations.
I mean, yeah, the Conleys didn't get cable till like the end of the 90s.
There you go.
Yeah, what do I know?
I was not aware of that.
Oh yeah, right.
I was
So
not
big
aware. Of
doings. Also, like, did you see the game ball presentation?
Yeah.
Bill's 250th win. Mm-hmm. I could have sworn a couple weeks ago he just tied Curly Lambeau for like 226.
it. Yeah. What was
He
that?
fast.
I
They
guess we can
fast
look.
voted like 5
yeah,
10
I mean,
wins.
like the playoff wins worth 4.
I'll see what we
You
get.
know? Oh, actually, maybe it's
I'll do a little research.
maybe one's counting playoff wins and one's not. I guess.
Know what it was.
The kid's
Yeah, I
gotta
mean,
do
I
a little
saw-
research.
We'll
Yeah.
research
Love
while we
it,
chat
love it,
amongst
love it.
ourselves.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
gave him a nice big hug. That was nice.
It was warm. It was a warm.
It was like all right. There's no tension there.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of good stuff going on there. Hug. He really appreciated that football hug.
That's it.
Bill's he's a historian. He likes history. So
He does.
when he's in those moments, I think he lets his guard down every once a little bit. You know, got to look for it. Hugging,
I love it. I love to see the
Hugging the
man
man.
behind the curtain there. I love to see it.
against Cleveland. Nice to see.
Yes, and Mr. Kraft mentioned that too.
He did.
I was especially that guy.
How about
God
early
love,
on when he
if
used to
I
get
was his
wasted? Like,
yeah, oh yeah,
wasted. Like that one, the very first AFC Championship game that I think they won under his thing, and he went out at halftime like half wasted.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
also
that was
wasted
awesome.
after the first Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hammered. When he was like, "But tonight, we're all Patriots." I was like, "Well, yes,
Yes,
mean-
we are.
I don't think there'd be a moment I would be sober if that was that rich. You
hilarious.
just have chauffeurs, and then you go into meetings with everybody who works for you, probably.
You're right about the playoff win. It seems like, because he's at 228 regular season.
Okay.
But is that all he has for playoff wins? It seems like he has more than that.
I mean,
What's that,
You
20?
can only get like 3 a year if you get a bye, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I
Yeah,
guess,
it's-
yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm right.
Yeah.
So yeah, next up
He's
is
gonna
old Tom
hunt down
Landry.
Don Shula.
I hope so.
like
Oh,
a
that'd be
lamb
so
and
good.
just slaughter him.
After his
Yeah.
329.
Like that would be the only reason he's still coaching, just to
100%.
Clip Shula.
Yeah, to clip him and just he'll go
Man.
one win over him and retire. I swear.
That's
if he
still
wants
so
It would
distant.
be awesome if he was able to put the cherry on top of an undefeated season
that
at a
last-
Super Bowl, and that put him just over Shula.
Yeah,
I
I'm
haven't
out.
done the math.
Mic drop.
Yeah, see you
70
later. You
78
guys can
wins.
stop getting together.
Yeah.
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 Team's now going to be getting together when anybody goes 10-0.
Yeah,
So take your orange blazers,
yeah.
See you later.
hit the brick.
See you later. 78 wins to go. So that would be like at least, 6 years at least.
He's got a lot. I mean, Shula's
6.5, 12-win seasons, no problem. No problem.
No big
It's a
deal.
long time from now, though.
This guy, he's going to coach 10 more years, easy.
Love it.
I've
love
heard
that kind
he
of talk.
said, what is his age? Do you know? Let's look that up.
I'm going to
real
say
quick.
he's
60.
2-ish.
62, I'm
64.
going to say.
64. All right. The guy
I've
doesn't look
heard
a
that
day
he
over
won't coach
62.
into his 70s. He said that himself.
Really?
But that gives him.
He won't coach into his 70s.
That's what he
Yeah, I
said.
remember him saying
But
that.
you
Bob
know-
Levy was coaching when he was 76.
Let's be
It's
real.
gotta
I don't
be
think he's
Lindy
going to
Holiday
be. He's going to
talking.
be on the 6 rings or whatever the vote is.
Yeah. It's going to be the
that's
12 rings by then.
Heyo.
But he's Yeah, I think he's a competitive guy like that. He's up there in the 315s, 320s. He's not gonna fold. He's gonna go for old Don's record.
Just take him out, especially if he's alive.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. I was gonna say
just to really get him.
What's that, Don?
No, I respect Don Shula. I have the utmost respect and all this. You know, the greatest coach ever.
Don,
as he just like raids his like records.
Don takes a turn for the worse like 6 years from now. Bill gives him a kidney. Keep him around for it.
Yeah. Keep this guy going.
Oh, terrible.
Hilarious.
That's so bad. Seriously, Don Shula, stay in good health, buddy. So,
Yes.
Chris Hogan still making some plays out
Big
there.
plays, yeah.
I mean, you know,
Every play the kid's involved in is big.
just automatic, like chemistry with Brady.
Yeah,
it was just kind of incredible. I was like, maybe he was masquerading as that Dartmouth kid and was like going down to Brady's house.
You know what I thought was kind of interesting, not to get completely off topic, but
Please don't.
everyone kind of assumed and said all week long that the Patriots were going to do what they always do, and they take your best offensive player, a.k.a. A.J. Green, and they double team him. They didn't really double team A.J. Green.
Yeah.
They left kind of whoever they felt was their best defensive matchup at that time up against him.
Right.
But they didn't give him double cut, and they got away with it. I thought that was kind of an interesting, you know, you never can kind of predict what he's going to do, and that was not the game plan. To, you know, as much as they pumped him up and he loved AJ Green and said he was,
Yeah.
you know, the greatest ever, he did not have help most of the night. Whoever was on covering him. Right. Am I wrong about that?
Well,
or?
yeah. I mean, if I didn't dissect it that thoroughly.
Yeah.
But I did notice Malcolm making some plays, and then you know Ryan was on him a couple times. But maybe that's less of a slap in the face to AJ Green and more to the Red Rifle. Like, hey, you can't put it on him.
Whatever it was, I just found it interesting because he was kind of getting some, you know, but it was all in single coverage. And then I was like, okay, and he was kind of going off a little bit as the second quarter was coming to an end. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna make the adjustment halftime and come out and double him, and they didn't.
Right.
You know, because I think he might have gotten a touchdown in the second half.
Yeah, I think he had like 88 yards and a TD. Let me see.
And I think the TD might have been in the second half, and it was on single coverage.
No TDs.
No TDs. Okay.
That was LaFell with the TD.
LaFell, right.
Yeah, I mean 88 yards,
Why can't we
not
get
a huge
players
day
like
by his
that?
standards, you know.
That was my Bob.
By old AJ.
Um,
But yeah, I think what I was reading, I mean, I certainly didn't notice it during the non-audio game that I was watching at the bar the other night, but or the other morning.
so we
that is.
won't give that bar a plug.
No plug.
No plug. Get the Pats.
No plug. But
get the Pats audio up.
what I
We
was
get a
reading
plug.
is that what they did do in the second half is what for the nickel D they switched to they were going 3 safeties and 2 corners for the nickel, which is like, you know, pretty much they played the majority of the time. And then in the second half they brought in that kid Rowe, and they had 3 corners. So, and I don't know if Rowe, like, it seems like they're, as opposed to matching up directly one-on-one, they're still kind of playing sides more, you know?
Right.
Kind of to Kev's point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that kid Rowe made a play which made me
he had a
realize he was on the
break up.
field.
Yeah, exactly,
it was
exactly.
Nice breakup. So that's good, and like you know, that's a new acquisition. You know, from the Eagles.
He's a big body.
In the off season, like around training camp.
I think so, yeah. He was was he from Philly or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, he was with the Eagles.
But it doesn't bode well for old Cyrus. I mean, he didn't play, and then
Yeah, inactive.
Yeah, so
Ooh. Well, that's definitely
coaching.
I mean, I think it could be, it could go either way. That was clearly a punishment for past behavior, but if
you know how that goes. You get in the doghouse, and then next man up.
He's just like
next man up. Who knows?
true.
We'll see where.
You got to earn your
true.
minutes,
You may never
even
hear
if
his
you're a
name
second
again.
round pick.
He's gonna be playing for Miami in 3 weeks.
Oh, man.
You're gonna like put the kibosh on him like Jonathan Cooper. Or like,
Yeah, see you later.
Was that Jason or you did that? It's like, oh, get Cooper back. He's cut. Speaking of guys that's been kind of cut and brought back, Glenn Gronk back in the fold
Double
of the practice
G's,
squad.
baby.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hopefully he left a knapsack at Rob's place.
Bro, how about that
Totally
catch
move
on
on.
his touchdown?
Oh man.
That
Oh, my
throw from
God.
Brady.
So
The throw was
good.
unreal.
Shoelaces.
At first glance, I was worked out. I was like, why did he force that ball? And then they showed a different angle, And I mean, he just painted
zipped it right in there.
low and outside.
Best
Boom.
thing a
Only he
defender is
could
going to
get
do
to.
right there is knock it down.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
way he's intercepting it.
No.
That was a beautiful thing.
I'd be surprised if he could knock it down. It was just like, oh, I'll just put it on like the bottom extreme right of his catch radius
ridiculous, yeah.
when he's going left. It's like missile.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was-
of course the
that was
beast
pretty.
Yeah.
with the tack paper on his hand.
Boom.
Get it.
One other area still of concern,
Okay.
since we touch upon those things every
We
now
did.
and
We
again.
touched upon
There are a
Ghost,
couple
and
things
then
to
we
worry
glossed
about.
over it.
The O-line still, I mean, more so in the first half, but
Yeah.
Brady was feeling the heat a lot of that game, and that's the kind of,
It's still a young group.
It
Still
is,
a
it
very
is, it
young
is.
group, and they still are showing a lot of room for improvement.
definitely room for improvement. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe the defensive backfield of the Bengals were kind of playing good in that. No, disregard that.
I mean, they're a physical group. The Bengals, they clearly, obviously, they clearly always walk the line.
Oh, yeah.
Between what's fair and unfair,
Yeah.
and they're going to come in and punch you in the mouth. And that's a little bit of what was, I think, going on with the Pats. It's a young group, and they're constantly making adjustments. But I think in the end, the game plan kind of won out there.
I guess that's what I was trying to say there before I brain farted, but like they must have been on him like pretty good like for that first 3 seconds, because usually Brady's like boom boom out, and that's
Right.
how guys get tired of rushing.
That's a good point.
And then he picks them apart later in the day, so maybe credit goes on Cincinnati. Got to get to a little bit of thug life. Vontez Burfict, dude.
Yeah.
It comes down on Wednesday that he gets fined $75,000. No suspension, despite this guy being like, on the fine list.
Right.
Pretty regularly.
Right.
He has a long resume of being, just a dirty player.
Right.
How does he not get suspended?
I mean, the whole thing is just the NFL needs to, like, as far as I'm concerned, clean house when it comes to this. Did you see that Edelman had that fine from like 3 weeks ago reduced?
yeah.
But he had it reduced by $9,000, which happened to be the same amount he got fined $9,000 for this past week, the stiff arm that he did on the penalty that was called against the defender at the time, but he also did a stiff arm, so they fined him $9,000 for that. And it's just, you don't do stuff like that.
Yeah,
you
it's a
don't do
joke.
stuff like that. Those are mind games. Those are head games, and you're playing with what's going on in the field and saying, all right, yeah, we'll reduce you fine, and then here's another one for the same amount. So to me, what's going on there and then you got the kicker today coming out saying that who was suspended one game, that admitted in court to beating his wife and hitting her and all this stuff.
Oh, I didn't
did
hear
he get
about
suspended?
this.
Yeah.
Who's this?
That's Josh Brown.
Josh
right?
Brown.
Oh, Josh
Guy
Brown.
from the Giants.
Yeah.
He admitted that he'd beaten his wife and physically and emotionally abused her. One game.
Wow.
Supposedly, your equipment guy takes air out of a football 4 games. Whatever.
They need a standardized
I mean,
set
come
of
on.
rules.
They
Yeah.
need someone who's not. They need like an independent kind of person. Or this is
Right.
just that's doing this. That's
It's a joke,
The
man.
thing that was shocking to me is like he got fined for like the stomp on LeGarrette, which you can kind of see. But I thought the most egregious of the two things he didn't
Bennett.
get anything for. And yeah, him torpedoing
That's
Bennett
a bad,
right at the knee.
bad
That's dirty.
football play.
I was
Right.
surprised Marty B didn't get up and just start.
I
like,
was shocked at the
dropping,
time
like,
because his
elbow
brother
bomb.
actually did the same thing across the way when in his game. Someone did the same thing to him, and he went crazy.
Oh,
Did you see that?
really?
Yeah. And it was someone took a shot at his knee, and his brother went crazy. And Bennett, I was actually shocked that Bennett didn't really respond at
Yeah,
all.
that was kind of crazy.
I think that was, I mean, it hasn't been disclosed by them, but I do think, like, right from the get-go, Burfict was up in Gronk's grill, you know what I mean? In the whole game, like, they kind of set that tone, like, we're gonna play rough. It's like you're playing pickup hoops with your boys. It's gonna be rough. And he just set that tone early, and I'm sure they're jawing all game. And I'm sure that after Bennett went down, back in the huddle, it's like, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, because Gronk afterwards was just, it was
He
amazing.
was.
I wanna- oh, man,
you
dude.
love him, but he does lose control of his
Oh,
emotions
yeah.
a little bit, and he definitely told that guy like, "How's it feel, little guy?"
yeah.
You know what I mean? To
Oh,
get
yeah.
pounded. You know what I mean? Like he said something to the effect of like,
Right.
"I just ran you over."
He got
Right.
a talking to from Bill.
He did, yeah. He is one of few guys who can get away with
Walk
that, kind of
that line
stuff.
and still play next week.
And it's funny because then when he goes back out there, and then like LeGarrette gets in, it's the one where he spiked. Gronk's just like, I can't get into it, and he's just like, dance it.
Dance. Oh man,
like,
so good.
Oh my God.
It is
We love this
enjoyable to
guy.
watch.
We love this guy. I did want to give a couple props out to some folks that commented on the YouTube page last week. Fantasy Sports Guru, I wanted to know what the Mike linebacker was. He's gave me a whole breakdown, baby.
Nice.
It was nice. And he's got it all, that's up there on the thing. Take a look at it. And also MW2 Geek 99, faithful viewer, he was saying, I think Malcolm Mitchell, he's like looking for him to explode. And I like Malcolm Mitchell as well. So I'm on board
He
with
is
that.
getting a lot. He's on the field quite a bit. You see him like running routes. He's out there, and he has the trust of the coaching staff. I think he's just got to work it with Tom Brady a little bit.
Right.
Get a little bit of that trust motion going. You know, a little of that Brady magic.
That's
But
it.
he hasn't lost any of it yet. That's the key. You
is
haven't
the
seen
key.
him make the mistake that you're like,
Yeah.
Right.
What's up with Amendola?
Is he a little dinged up?
Is he dinged up? He just
I don't know. I think it's just. I feel like it's a numbers thing at this
It's
point. I
Hogan?
mean, it's you got Hogan, and then just there's only so many touches to go around. So, you know, if James White's getting touches, you got Marty and Gronk getting touches because one of them's always going to be open.
Okay. I was hoping it was that and not more a physical thing.
I don't think it is because he's not on the injury report. He's not even limited at practice today. Marty B limited, Brandon B limited, Jamie Collins, like we said, Edelman, Garoppolo, Woodrow, Hamilton, Shea McClellan, Malcolm Mitchell, Landon Robinson,
What's
Vincent
the word on,
Valentine.
What's the word on Dion Lewis? Where's he at right now?
When he gets back, is James White going to let the job go? I mean,
It's going to be tough.
But
I mean,
I just want to know.
there
I want
was
to
an
see the
update this
competition.
week that Bill said he's not going to practice this week. So
Yeah.
and when
he was
is
eligible to practice, I think, as of last week, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. But
I
he's
don't know why I was thinking week 8.
that's when he can come back.
Okay.
I think to play. If I might be wrong, but I think he can play as of week 8, but he could practice as of last week.
Right on.
That is not necessarily factual, but let's
This is
go
what,
with it.
well,
Sounds excellent.
Hit us
I
up
thought
on the
it sounded
facts.
really good.
Hit us up in the
Fax
YouTube
machine.
chat room on that.
Yeah.
Facts.
Also, this is like one of those weeks where I want to switch out the AfterBuzz mics due to the fact we are going to Pittsburgh
Oh yeah.
for a big matchup. That we
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
Good one.
that we had circled on the calendar. Yeah, it's a big tough game. This one and at Denver, I thought were the two that I was kind of circling as maybe a potential tough spots for the Patriots. But no Big Ben, hurt,
Scoped.
get a little scope meniscus issue, getting a little cleaned out. So Landry Jones will be under center
LJ.
for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
How do you
What
guys
do
feel
think?
about that?
Pats by 7.5.
How do you guys feel before we get to the guesstimates?
Yeah.
The bets.
Well, what's interesting about him with that team is that they're not going to adjust really the offense that much other than what they would adjust for a week-to-week thing. So it's the same pretty much the offense that they run with Big Ben, which is there's a lot of weapons in the shed there.
Definitely.
So I wouldn't, you can't just take that as
A gimme.
a gimme.
No
Right.
question. I think McCourty kind of was saying that along the same lines. He said the one difference that I will say will probably happen is he'll probably get the ball out a little quicker because Ben has a tendency to sit back there.
He can
wait
hold on
for
to
two
it forever,
guys to
yeah.
like climb on him.
Yeah,
and then
once
throw,
the first guy hits him, he's like, "Oh, okay, now maybe I should think about throwing." There's a human being hanging on.
He's a beast. I got to be honest. I was a little disappointed, man. Just as I'm a fan of Ben's play on the field. I like the way the guy goes about
Yeah,
his
you
business.
wanna
Kind of bummed. Yeah, I was glad to hear that. Ended up not being. I mean, if anyone's going to be back in 2-3 weeks from that kind of thing, it'll be Ben. But.
Yeah. What about
Kinda-
his business
kinda
in local hotel rooms?
I mean,
on
that's,
the road?
maybe a little less
Just on the
abnormal.
field?
Luckily, he
Okay.
wasn't hanging with Billy Bush when he was making those things happen.
hot
boy.
mic.
My remote control's broken.
Yeah, I mean, they still have the weapons. They still have Antonio Brown.
They still have Le'Veon Bell.
Still have Le'Veon Bell. You're looking at those guys being
Right.
top 3 at their respective positions, if not the top. Defense is going to have to bring it. The defense, they showed a little bit of improvement this week, but their Achilles heel this year has been red zone defense. And
They had a big stop this week, though. They did.
That was
good.
huge.
Yeah.
You know, your boy Landon with a nice move on that, and then Malcolm in single coverage broke up a little fade to AJ.
Right.
So that was good to see. And yeah, anytime you get the four down stop on the 1 yard line.
Oh, that fires
It's
everyone
pretty
up.
exciting.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was alarming though. I mean, aside from the offense not getting going in the first half, like, it seemed the D was getting torn up by the Red Rifle out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he was having his
But,
way with that zone.
the guy can throw, dude. Some of
Yeah.
those throws to AJ Green were just like perfect. I mean,
true.
he's so kind of arrogant and not at the same way he is, I think, on the field, but then like backs off and
gotta be a
outside of it.
DQB.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, I saw him smirking a couple times because a couple of the passes he did to AJ Green were just like, I mean, perfect passes.
Yeah.
You know, and you got a guy like that, he's gonna grab anything. So
How about that haircut he has too, by the way?
I
Side
know
note,
it's kind of weird.
it's pretty ridiculous. Little like ball of flame on top of his head
Little
there.
Tough
It was so like the best part. I always I can't help when I think about him. It's when I think of JJ Watt when JJ Watt did that thing and like he actually like took it personal. You know what I mean? Like he called him the Red Rifle or
Yeah.
something like that, or you know, he's like JJ Watt was like, yeah, we took down the Ginger Red Rifle or something like that, and then he was mad about it. I
Who
was
was
just like,
Dalton?
yeah, and I was like, oh wait a minute, dude, like did you actually just get your feelings hurt?
That's hilarious.
By the
You're
way,
a
which
quarterback in the NFL.
you know what I mean? Which were the feelings that I was stirred when I watched. I don't know if you guys caught any of the Thursday night game when Phillips Rivers passed the Dan Fouts
Yeah.
is the passing record,
Yeah.
and they won the first game after losing 3 in a row.
Yeah.
I saw 2 grown men cry on national television over a single win.
Really?
The first one was Philip Rivers, and the second one was the head coach
Mike McCoy, yeah.
of the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
I mean, folks,
That's a Super Bowl.
we're
for them.
early here.
They've been
We're
pissing
early.
they've
We're
been
early to
pissing
be
away
shedding tears.
games.
Okay, Philip Rivers, get your bolo tie on and take the football and tell your grandkids about it. All right, I don't need to hear it like see you shedding tears. I was ashamed for him that you're worried about passing Dan Fouts.
I know.
Okay, and you're crying about it. You're like, oh, I just looked around that room and I saw how much those men enjoy this football, and I just started crying. I'm getting choked up with water right now. I'm like, dude, I'm embarrassed for you.
Hey, man. You know?
Philip Rivers just drives me nuts,
Yeah.
and I love that Drew Brees' storyline with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like
I'm going to leave and go win a Super Bowl.
exactly, and be way better than you ever were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in San Diego you got to take what you can get, though. You know, I mean, that's it.
I can kind of. It's been built. I mean, they have been absolutely giving away games in the fourth quarter.
Some
this
of the
entire
losses,
year.
yeah.
So bad. You know that.
yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a lot of emotion. You know, maybe Mike McCoy's a cancer like myself. We're emotional beings. You know. I don't know. But it's like he was broke down.
He's like
And
Dick
then-
Vermeil. Remember Dick Vermeil used to cry
yeah.
like weeks
Oh, yeah.
earlier? Yeah, he's like Dick Vermeil. That's
Cried
fine.
like every Wednesday. That guy. These guys made so much. Man.
I love when we put in the defensive playbook. Oh man. Yeah, Mike McCoy. He was like downtrodden at that game when they recovered an onside kick. Towards the end, he was like, "No,
They were like they were unraveling, dude. They were unraveling. The clock did not run out fast enough. And then he comes out here and he's like, "Sorry, I was just talking to my daughter." I'm like, oh my god, you guys really held on for dear life there.
Unbelievable.
Imagine if that was Matt Patricia, he'd be looking for work.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow. It is nice to be a Pats fan sometimes, isn't it?
It really is. You know, thank God only Pats fans are listening, but you know, to gloat this much. And we did have a Broncos guy trolling us last year, so who knows,
really?
maybe there's someone out there.
The days of like the Sullivans getting in fist fights at like 50-yard line are over. at halftime.
The old Sully Stadium. Yeah, Matt Millen took a helmet,
Matt
whipped him
Millen
in the head.
punched one of the Sullivan sons because he was the GM at the time at halftime.
Classic.
Talking about ownership being drunk. There you go.
Yeah.
The Sullivans
Yeah.
out there in melees, post-game melees. What do you think chances going in there? You got to be good without Ben showing up.
Yeah, it feels like it could be a trap game. I mean, I expect them
Trap
to win.
game.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, Pittsburgh historically, every season's different, but historically, when you think back, Big Ben's been banged up before. That was a lot of B's right there. Banged up before. But getting alliterative there. But I mean, whether it was Charlie Batch or whoever it was in the day,
Mike Tom
Vick.
Zach.
Yep.
Maybe that's too far back. Tommy Maddox.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, I feel like historically their backups have stepped up, and they're a pretty well coached team, and they're one of those teams that's always in the mix every year. So I expect them to put their best foot forward. And as Kev said, they got plenty of weapons. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Definitely a good test for the D.
Did I mention who I thought was going to be the player of the game for the Patriots?
I gotta say, he's going with Julian Edelman.
No,
Stick with
I'm
it.
going to go away from him.
No way.
No, I'm going with
Okay,
Julian.
you gotta go.
I got to be right once.
Yeah.
He has not been made much of an impact so far this season.
Not much for
He's been
fantasy
quiet.
teams.
He's been quiet.
But he's gonna explode one of these days. Are we shocked at all to that 162 was Gronk's high?
I was,
I thought
100%.
somewhere in there he might have snuck in a 200.
That also felt like, even though he was having a great game, it didn't feel to me like he was having an otherworldly
Well,
career.
I don't
setting
think he
game.
had one of his prototypical run over 16 people,
Right.
run in for the touchdown, everything, then get up and how about that Bennett spike where he tried to do the Gronk spike and he released it and threw it up into the
That was last week.
it was-
right?
yeah.
Hilarious. I meant to mention that.
Yeah, we
Something
forgot
about
to mention that.
bad.
That was hilarious.
That guy's a great interview, by the way. Have you guys been catching some of his?
Such a smart guy.
It's fun to have guys just with a bit of character too. He's so many of them. I mean, he's just right up against those old Belichick rules of what he can and can't say.
Yep.
He's
It seems like Belichick's all right, I'm just gonna let one position go
Right.
haywire. Tight ends. We're gonna bring in all the nut job
yeah.
tight ends we can get, as long as
Yeah.
they're beasts that can
Hernandez
block
set
and
the
catch.
bar pretty low. It's
Yeah.
as long as you're not
That's
murking
wild.
anybody between games,
Yeah.
I guess you're in the clear.
Yeah.
He gets a little dicey on the defensive side of the ball too. He'll throw some dice out there.
Who? Belichick?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
with
throw
some-
something crazy. I
yeah,
mean,
with some
you know,
retreads.
I mean,
Yeah.
LT wasn't the most balanced guy, and
Right.
he must still have dreams about that guy wrecking people.
Oh my
exactly.
God. Boy. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Anything you guys want to say before we do?
God bless the New England Patriots.
Tyler Gaffney back on the
Yeah,
practice
there you
squad.
go.
Old
That's exciting.
favorite. Gotta love it. Kev, anything? No?
All good.
Shout out to Sherman Oaks Pop Warner. Or,
Sherman Oaks Shamrocks.
there you go. Go
Fall
get him
ball.
this weekend. I love
Yeah.
it.
Strong name.
Cashy's on the bump tomorrow. Yeah, we named the
Ooh.
team, so
Nice.
we're going with the Shamrocks.
Strong.
Nice.
Strong to quite strong.
Well, Pats fans, thanks for tuning in with us again. For Dennis Harris and Kevin Finn, I'm Mike Conley. Thanks for tuning in with another edition of Patriots Wrap 360. Go Pats!
Go Pats!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.